All right, so welcome everyone to our cat harness holiday training hangout. We're so excited to have you here, and thank you for spending your Tuesday night during a holiday weekend with us. We recognize you could be doing a lot of other things right now, but want to confirm that you've made the right choice by spending it here with us and a bunch of other amazing cat people. My name is Emily, and I am the co-founder of Travel Cat, and this is our 5th virtual hangout. So we're really happy to have you all be a part of it and to bring our community together. So what should you expect from tonight besides lots of fun and cattails waving in the Zoom screens, which we definitely encourage? We're going to introduce our amazing Travel Cat expert co-hosts here who are going to be sharing their tips. We're going to have a dedicated harness workshop, a harness training workshop led by Erica, also known as Kimchi, or the person, the human behind Kimchi, the adventure cat. We're also going to take a group Zoomy selfie. So before we do that, so in the next 5 or 10 minutes, if you want to try to get your cat to be near you so your cat can be in the group photo, we're going to take the group screenshot. You can do that. After the workshop, we're going to have breakout sessions. So we're going to split everybody up so that you have a chance to be in a smaller group with a co-host. Just ask questions, share tips, share your experiences, and hang out with each other. And then at the very end, we're going to be picking a lucky winner. We're going to pick somebody to win a $250 Travel Cat gift card, which is very exciting. So you do have to stay to the end for that. And we'll also be sharing throughout the event some exclusive promo codes, promotions that we have going on just for people who are here tonight. And also, if you want to be brave and come on camera at the end, we'll do some final tip sharing, and we expect to go until about 9:30 tonight. So with that, again, my name is Emily. We started Travel Cat in 2017 with my co-founder and partner, who is also my husband. We were inspired after we rescued our first cat, Andy, on a whim. She's here in the corner. We found her in a family member's backyard. And what we found was that becoming cat parents and cat people very quickly overnight, that there were a lot of bad connotations around being a cat parent, and that cats are easy and they just sleep all day. And what we found was really that that's not true. To raise happy, healthy cats, they need stimulation and they need enrichment. And one of the ways you can do that is by safely taking your cat beyond the great indoors, as we like to say. So we have become, in the past, just celebrated about 4 years, the #1 cat travel brand in the world. We have over 60,000 customers, or catstomers, as we lovingly call them, that we have connected with in over 75 countries. So we ship and connect with people all around the world. And we're really excited as we grow to offer more and more content and events and experiences like this to connect the cat people in our community with each other, because we don't have as many opportunities like hanging out with people at dog parks, right? Like dog people get. So we thought this would be a fun way to bring people together and to connect you. So I'm so happy that I already see so many people introducing themselves in the chat. So yes, please, if you haven't already, introduce yourself in the chat. You can share where you're tuning in from, your cat's names, because we love hearing cat names, never get tired of it. And also, if you have an Instagram, if you have a personal Instagram or Catstagram and you want to share your link, please definitely do that again as well. And we encourage everybody to connect with each other, chat with each other throughout the event as well. We have over 100 incredible cat people here. So with that, before we dive into the main workshop for tonight, we're going to introduce you to all our co-hosts who are going to share a little bit about their experience being Travel Cat people. And with that, I'm very excited to connect you, or to kick it off with Sarah, who's one of our oldest, longtime favorite customers who we actually had the pleasure of meeting in person at cat conventions before COVID, when we used to go to cat conventions. So she is lovely. And Sarah, I'm going to kick it off to you first.
Thanks, Emily. Wow, yes, the times of pre-pandemic. So yeah, my name is Sarah, and my kitties' names are Birch and Luna. I will definitely show you kitties when we get ready for our Zoom selfie. Our cats are 3.5, and we started harness training them when we were, let's see, they were about 14 to 16 weeks old, so they were young. And we tend to stick to forest walks for our cats. It helps them feel safe. And I would say that probably our biggest tip is consistency. So choose one park and stick with that for a while you're harness training them. It helps them build their confidence for other adventures. So yeah, that's a little bit about us. I'm excited to get to meet some of you in a breakout room later.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. All right, next up we have Rihanna.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rihanna, and this is Toffee, one of my 6 kitties. And my internet's going. Okay. I have 6 kitties. We've been on 20 planes, RV'd across the country. We love adventuring, especially my twin Torty girls. And my biggest recommendation would be to be confident in yourself, because they're going to pick up on your energy. So if you're fearful, they're going to be more fearful. And that's all.
Great, thank you. All right, Inaya.
Hi, my name is Inaya, and I have Clementine and Heathcliff. This is Heathcliff, who is 8 months old. I also have a second ginger cat named Clementine, who is 1 year, 4 months. And Clementine has been on the harness since she was 4 months. Heathcliff has been on the harness since he was 2 months. And our biggest motivation, or I guess my personal biggest motivation, is I consider myself an outdoors person. And once I realized that my cats really enjoy the outdoors and that it's actually really helpful to a cat's like stimulation and just, I don't know, their natural hunting instincts and things like that, we started to go outside more often, and it's really become a bonding experience with us.
Great, thank you. All right, Melissa.
Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa, and this is Louie in here. I own Willow and Louie, and we've been harness training them since they were 3 and 4 months old. They're now 8 and 9 months. We have gone on mountain adventures. Our most recent adventure was across the country from Arizona to New York, which was quite the experience. And I think my biggest tip would be to start with what's familiar with your cat and just build from there.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, Caitlin.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. My cat is Wiz. We are located in Tempe, Arizona, but right now we're in North Beach, Maryland, celebrating the holidays. Being located in Arizona, we do a lot of hikes on mountains and buttes, but we also fly a lot because we like to visit our family on the East Coast. I guess I started traveling with him a lot because I wanted to be able to visit my family and take him with me and not have to worry about finding someone to watch him. And I always say cats deserve to see the world too. So it's just been really fun. And I guess my biggest tip is just to listen to your cat's body language. Just watch them. They'll tell you what they want. I think everyone here, if you want to travel with your cats, you already have a really great connection with your cats and you understand each other. So just watch their body language and listen to what they're telling you. Tails are a big indicator.
Great. All right, Zafrina.
Hi, everyone. I'm Zafrina. We are from Edmonton, Alberta, here in Canada. Right now, we're dealing with -40 weather, so we are all inside. I have Kitty Mojito and Lynx. We are Kitty Mojito on Instagram. I guess we're the seniors out of the lot because they're 9 and 14. I harness trained Lynx when he was 12, and Kitty was harness trained when she was fairly young, when she was about 1 or 2. So we do have experience with training them as a younger cat as well as, a distinguished gentleman at 14. anyway, my biggest tip would be just be adaptable. Like, don't put a lot of expectation or pressure on your cat to do things when you're out and about. Just go with the flow. Watch, like everybody else said, watch their body language and pick up on cues. So just be patient and just take it one day at a time. You're not like, don't keep comparing yourself to all the seasoned adventurers you see on Instagram. Just do what's best for your cat.
Wonderful. All right, and Holly.
Hey everyone, sorry, I'm like getting over being sick. My name is Holly and I'm in the Bay Area in California. My cat's name is Meister. He's 3 years old. He'll be 4 in March. We started leash training when he was about 12 weeks old, and we've gone on a lot of different trips, road trips and local trips to the store and restaurants and stuff like that. And we're currently working on car training right now because he doesn't really like the car. So we're working on that. And one thing that has really helped me is training around dinner time. So like if your cat is food motivated, it helps. I don't know, I have found that it's helpful when like they're hungry to use treats and food, and that works as a great incentive.
Wonderful. Thanks, Holly. All right, and Erica, our co-host and workshop leader for tonight.
Everyone. So my name is Erica. I am one half of the humans for Kimchi the Adventure Cats. I am calling you folks from Tiohtià:ke, or so-called Montreal, which is the unceded territory of the Kanien'kehá:ka Nation. And yeah, so I'm normally not the person that you see on the pictures. It's normally my partner, but I'm super excited to be here. We started training Kimchi when she was around 7 months old. As soon as we put the harness on, and obviously this, I'll be giving out my tips and tricks throughout this session. As soon as we put the harness on, Kimchi really took to it. She's a very energetic orange cat, and we've been loving it ever since. We've been able to go on a lot of different car road trips, plane trips to Vancouver, lots of road trips around Vancouver, Vancouver Island. So with Kimchi as well. And it's been a really, really great time. And I'm really excited to be able to share some of our tips and tricks for just having your cat, starting it from the super basics and having your cat hopefully ready to go with you on small adventures in places that you are most familiar with.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you to all of our hosts. And like I said, if you haven't already, please be sure to introduce yourself in the chat, because these events are not just for you to learn from these experts, but also to connect with each other. So encourage you to share an Instagram where you're tuning in from, the names of your cats, because who doesn't love hearing the names of cats, and connect with each other throughout the event and throughout Erica's presentation. She'll be prompting you to put things in the chat, asking questions, and we encourage you to share your experiences and ask questions during that time as well. So before we get into that, we wanted to take some group photos. So now is the time to grab your cat, or face your camera towards your cat. I'm going to be taking a bunch of screenshots. So basically do your best to just keep looking cute as much as possible. If you don't want to be on camera, now would be the time to not be on camera, but I am going to try to get in as many people as possible, and I'm going to take a few. So basically keep looking cute. Oh, and you want to bring in my partner and co-founder Ian's going to bring in okay, just hold on. All right, here we go. All right, ready everyone? I'm going to start taking some. 1, 2, 3. Oh, contest. 1, 2, 3. Okay, hold on. You gotta give me a second here. I gotta make sure I always gotta make sure to keep them. Hold on. I gotta make okay. Keep it going, guys. Keep going. This is the most difficult teamwork part of the event. All right, let me go to the next slide. There's 3 sides. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Got a second one. Gonna do one more, guys. You're doing great. Your cats are doing great. Here we go. Okay, hold on. Keep it up. All right, hold on. Okay, ready? 1, 2. Oh, okay, my cat's crying. 1, 2, 3. All right, all right, all right. We got some. Hopefully everybody got something in there. I also encourage my co-host during the breakouts to take a screenshot or two if they can. All right. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Erica to share her screens and to start the workshop portion of the event, all about harness training. Again, very excited to have Erica here and to share her tips with us. Please chat throughout the event, but stay on mute until we get into the breakout. So with that, Erica, take it away.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Emily. And thank you all for joining us today, because I know a lot of you are on vacation. I know a lot of you are in different time zones. So I really appreciate you just taking the time to learn with us and to grow with us as cat communities, as well as cat lovers. So before we get started, I just wanted to do a little caveat where I will say I am neither a veterinarian nor an animal behaviorist, but we have been walking kimchi for the last year and a half now. And a lot of this, a lot of the things that I'll talk to you about right now comes from our own experiences, as well as researching prior to starting Kimchi's journey as an adventure cat. And truthfully, we did not intend Kimchi to be an adventure cat. We just really wanted some stimulation for her because of the pandemic, because we were also always at home, and we thought that this was a great opportunity for us. So with that said, I will say that there have been a lot of really great resources out there that is already available to you folks. So for example, Travel Cat, Your Cat Backpack has a really great blog with a lot of different tips and tricks that have been super helpful. Jackson Galaxy is also a really helpful resource that we watch quite a bit. And there's a lot of really cool Instagram and TikTok folks who are also doing really great work in terms of introducing cats to harness trainings and backpack trainings. So there's a lot out there. And I just wanted to give that caveat right up from the start. I am neither an animal behaviorist nor a veterinarian, but we do love walking kimchi and we love sharing all of these resources with you folks. And yeah, again, super thankful to be here. So that said, yeah, so I just have a breakout room pop up there. But first of all, why harness train? So why is it beneficial to harness train and leash train your cat? So in the chat, I'd love to put down, I'd love to see what you put down on why you want to train your cat to be harness and leash trained. Because it's always really cool to see what people have for, why you want to do it. Like I said before, our main purpose was to just have a little bit of enrichment and stimulation for Kimchi while we were all inside for the pandemic. But furthermore, for our household, according to some of the research that we've done through the actual animal behaviorists, these are some of the benefits that harness training and walking outside with your cat has. So prior to that, though, I just wanted to say that we are going to be focusing primarily on harness training, but there was actually a prior event with Your Cat Backpack that focused specifically on backpack training. It's super complimentary, and I will be talking a lot about the backpack as a complement to the harness training. And I just wanted to put that out there as well. So in terms of our research and also why exactly we do harness train and why we've started walking with Kimchi outside is, as I mentioned already, enrichment and stimulation. I think earlier already, we had already been talking about that cats are normally seen as, oh, they're just inside, they're fine inside, but they do need that stimulation and play every day. And harness training your cat and being able to actually walk with them with you provides an opportunity for you to stimulate and enrich your cat's day, and also helps you bond with your cat as a result. And it's just, generally speaking, it's a great complement to just playing with your cats, to having cat trees, and also furthermore, it results in a healthy cat. So ultimately, because you're enriching and stimulating your cat with play and with this specific form of physical activity, you'll also have a healthy and nurtured cat. So really, you'll just have a happy cat, and you'll also be happy too, because they will hopefully take to it, and they'll be happily walking with you, and it's just great fun. So within this presentation, I will say time and time again, and I will repeat this, cats are not dogs. And this is something to keep in mind as you start harness training your beloved multi-legged friend. And I'll also be saying this multiple times throughout this presentation because it's just something important to keep in mind. Furthermore, it's also safer than having your cat be an outdoors cat, especially if you're in a major city. As I mentioned earlier, I'm living in Montreal, and it's a pretty busy city, and we are living in a condo. And if we were living in maybe elsewhere, it might be different, but for the most part, because you'll be monitoring and holding onto your cat on a leash, you can see what exactly your cat is getting into and make sure that they don't encounter any sticky situations with you around. So I have a fun story with Kimchi where we were walking with her and she was kind of hesitating and going back and forth to a specific location. And when we actually looked down, she had led us to a dead mouse. So yeah, that is a good thing of why it's really great for you it is safer for you to see exactly what your cat is getting into when you're walking them. And furthermore, cats are predators, and bird populations have decreased because of cats that are out there and that are fully outdoor cats. So for example, the island of Lanai has a specific cat sanctuary specifically to just have the cats stay within that sanctuary and to protect the bird population there. And once your cat gets used to the harness as well, it makes it easier for you to travel with your cat. So we've already spoken about a lot of folks who have been able to drive with their cats, to go on planes with their cats. It makes it so much easier when you are able to just pick them up with the harness or have them on the leash and able to put them in a backpack. And you can quickly put them, you can quickly just have them around you. And it just makes traveling so much easier. And this comes from our experiences with the planes, with the cars, with going through airport security. The harness just makes it so much calmer and so much easier. And alternatively, something that I've spoken about too in a different series with the Cat Chat Club groups on Clubhouse, if you encounter emergencies, having a harness and having them ready to go is extremely helpful to ensure that your cat is around you again at all times and that you can monitor them. And it's also really helpful if they start panicking. So you're there and they're secure with you. And it's really important then to consider the proper sizing of your harness, which I will be going through in a little bit. And so another short friendly reminder that cats are not dogs. But with that said, as I earlier mentioned, we really love having a cat backpack. So I have my cat backpack here. And it really truly did complement our harness and leash training. The backpack provides a safe space for your cat to view the sights and be present, all while being with you outside. So it's a great thing to have when you're traveling or when you're on the go for emergencies, along with your harness and leash. And like I said, we're mostly focusing on harness training for this session, but there's a lot of resources already available out there that'll let you know about how you can introduce your cat to the backpack and do backpack training. And actually, the Your Cat Backpack team did a training recently that you can check out in the link in the chat. And you can hear all of these experiences and stories. And it's, like I said, it's a really great thing to have on hand. And I'll probably be repeating it throughout this session as well. So yeah, backpack training is extremely complimentary. And yeah, so that said, I also want to note that not all cats are the same. As I mentioned earlier, Kimchi really took to the harness quite quickly, but I want you to, when you're starting out, to keep in mind that when you're a beginner, you're going to have to start with the super basics, and not all cats will take to it like Kimchi does. Some will take time. Some cats are more receptive to the harnesses than others, but ultimately be patient, take your time, and remember that not all cats are the same. So with that said, because not cats, all cats are the same, and cats are not dogs, patience really is key. And that is probably my top tip for harness training your cat. It's take that time, be patient, and just be ready to be flexible with your cat. Yeah, so moving on from the benefits, as I earlier mentioned, it's really beneficial to have the proper sizing of harness. So here's some of the really quickly, some of things to consider when you're choosing your harnesses. There's different styles of harnesses, so please do the research for what your preferences are. And there are a lot of them out there right now. The main differences really is how you put the harness on the cat. So how easy do you think it would be to put something on your cat? Is it easier to put them around the neck? Is it easier to put it over the neck? That should be one of the biggest factors that you keep in mind when you're choosing a harness. With that said, we have a really helpful slide here that shows you the sizing. It's really important for you to get the measuring tapes out and do this as well as you can by measuring. Usually we measure the nape of Kimchi's neck and then behind her front paws to measure the sizing properly. And like I said, you'll definitely need to do this. So get their length, get their weights, and get those measuring tapes out. And as you can see here, here's a handy guide. As they show here on the slide, the chest measure there to make sure that you have the right size. So now that you've done your research for the type of harness that you have, and now you've got the harness in your hands, what's the first thing that you do with it? Introduce it. So for us, what really helped was actually just let them get used to it, with it being just in a random place in your apartment. So for example, we would just leave the harness in the middle of the living room for Kimchi to sniff at it. Leave it somewhere open so that it's present in there and they can sniff at it, they can paw at it. And furthermore, when you are starting out and when you're putting it on, before I get to like how you would get your put it on, make sure that you supervise all of these activities and watch them. So as always, make sure that you supervise and watch them. So how do you get the harness on? Some of the tips that we found super helpful are while they're eating or giving them a treat to put their paws or head in a certain direction. So for example, if you're going to put something over the head, you would put a treat in front of the cats, but behind the cats here, so that they can go through with their neck there. So that's a really good thing to do. The other tip that we had is when they're relaxed. So oftentimes Kimchi is pretty much ready to go for us. So she usually does this pose where she's a pancake cat. And that's when they're already super calm and it's super easy as a result to put it on. So because Kimchi pretty much has her hands, not hands, but her paws out, you can just easily slip on the harness on her. And the other, Emily quickly showed me a video the other day of cats when they're already calm and resting. She might drop it in the chat where there's a video of some sleepy kitties being put into harnesses. That's also a really great strategy. And yeah, I'd love to hear from other folks in the chat right now. What other ways have you seen work for getting the harness on your cat? Leave it in the chat. I'd love to see it. Kimchi does the pancake cat often, but also when we do have treats, that's also extremely helpful for us to put the harness on. So when you've put the harness on, make sure to try it first in your house for a few minutes at a time every day. I definitely would not recommend jumping quickly into going outside right away as soon as you have the harness on. My recommendation, and this has been when we also did our research, is to make sure that you're trying it on your cat is trying it on in your house for a few minutes at a time every single day, gradually increasing the amount of time they spend in it. So for the first day, take 5 minutes, just 5 minutes of the time, put it on and have them walk around in it, or just have it on your cat. And gradually every single day, increase it by a couple of minutes at a time. Once they're walking more comfortably with it on, you can add the leash and allow them to walk around your house, around your apartment with it on. So some of you might be wondering, what if they're a floppy cat though? So a floppy cat is a cat that has the harness on, but then tilts to the side. If you do have a floppy cat, one thing that we would recommend you do is give them time, obviously, and be patient, and also play with your cats with their favorite toy. So if they are a floppy cat, if you have a wand toy, for example, that you can kind of just play with your cat, they might actually be able to be more mobile as they have the harness on. And furthermore, another tip that we have is incentives. Every time that they finish the session with the harness on, give them a high value treat. So a high value treat is a treat that they really love and you don't give much of. So it's a rare treat, let's say. And our best example for Kimchi is those creamy tube treats. She goes nuts for them. And in the chat, I'd love to see some of the treats that you like giving your cat when you're just really happy with them, or when you want to incentivize them. Yeah, because we're always looking for treats as well. And throughout the time that they have the harness on, still inside, give them words of affirmation. Usually for us, it sounds really strange, especially since I have a lower voice, but we like to use a really high-pitched frequency to tell Kimchi, great job, Kimchi. And since you're already around them, give them a lot of pats as well. And we found that the high-pitched frequency really helps as well when it comes to giving words of affirmation to cats. And I think I actually learned that from training my dog back home, is having a high-pitched voice. So yeah, once they are more used to the harness and leash being on while they're still in your apartments, and you've been gradually increasing the amount of time they spend in the harness, you can start holding onto the leash. So before, I just told you, hey, just put it on, have the leash walking around with them, but don't touch it. Obviously, at all of these times, please supervise your cat. But now what is best is actually to take that leash and start following them. So hold on to that leash, follow them as they're walking. And as you follow them around your apartments, yeah, just be patient again. They're not dogs, because what I'm going to say again is that cats are not dogs. Their walks will be quite different than you're used to for dogs, and training them will not be similar. For the most part, they'll probably be sniffing or stopping more frequently than dogs, even if you're just starting out in your home. So even if you're just walking around in your apartment, they'll likely just, go to the side, sniff, or just stand there. So that's something to keep in mind. And once you are more used to them leading you, you can actually start guiding them. This means putting a little bit of pressure, not a lot, as they walk around in your home. So with that said, I actually have a video right with my partner showing this, but you kind of put a little bit of pressure, not a lot, and lead them to where you want to go and have them follow. You can also use incentives here. So for example, I've seen a lot of folks with leashes, and they actually attach a toy to the leash that the cat can follow, that their cat can follow, and that works extremely well. The other incentive that you could use is to actually use, let's say, the cat creamy or the tube treats or any high value treat, and just have it in front of your cat as they're walking. So that's also works as well. And so once you build up your confidence and in leading your cat, and the cat has gotten used to your leading, you can start taking them outside. And once you start taking them outside, what we did is we started on our balcony and our apartment's rooftop to walk Kimchi around. We always supervise. And even if the space is small, so even if it's our apartment balcony, we always watch her. This is a great way to gradually expose your cat to the outside, because this is a small space that you're watching your cat, as well as having the leash on. And there's the sounds from the outside to become more familiar for your cat. So for example, if you're on a busy street, if you have the balcony, you can hear it, or you can hear it, obviously, and your cat can hear it, and they're more exposed. And so that becomes more familiar for your cat. And yeah, so with that said, it's super important to, before you really start introducing long walks, to consider where you're going. Make sure that you do your own evaluation and assessment about your destinations. How many people do you think will be there? Is it noisy? Is there traffic? Will you be walking on a trail or on sidewalk? Or is it a park that's busy with a lot of dogs, for example? Will there be other wildlife or animals? So those are some of the factors that you should keep in mind when you do choose a destination. Primarily because, you know, there's other wildlife out there. There's also dogs. Some dogs are unleashed. And also your cat's a predator too, and birds and other small wildlife are present as well. How much control do you have in the space? Are you familiar with it? And one tip for us is, even though we have traveled to different places, we really love going to places we've already been. And Kimchi loves it too. You can tell with the body language. This means that with both ourselves as well as our cats, we have places that we've repeatedly gone to before. And have you done that hike before, if it is a hike? And finally, do you have an exit plan? So because you're already familiar with a specific place, what is the best way to get out? Would it be easy for your cat to find, would it easy, like, God forbid anything happens, but would it be easy for you to find your cat if any emergencies did happen? In all instances, no matter where you go, whether it's close by or, oops, I should have gone to the next one, whether it's close by or not, it's really important for you to pay attention and to watch your cat carefully. So with that said too, I really enjoy, not only does it help with our relationship building with our cat, but I also really enjoy having and making sure that there's other folks with us to join us on our walks. This is where it's super helpful to have a walking buddy. So for example, right now we walk as a pair. Sometimes we walk as a group. My partner and I work as a team when it comes to walking Kimchi. You don't necessarily need another person, but it makes it a lot easier because you have a second pair of eyes to evaluate and assess your surroundings. We also almost use my partner JP as a lead. So he'll be walking in the front leading, and Kimchi and I will follow with Kimchi by my side. And also, like I said, having a walking partner or someone there to walk with you to share the responsibility and safety of your kitty really helps too with my own confidence. And it's a second pair of eyes to evaluate if anything out there is concerning. And when you are starting to explore, please do make sure to bring your essentials. So some of the essentials include poop bags, treats, water, food, and a bowl to serve some of these items to your cat. I say poop bags because I didn't think it would happen, but Kimchi has started going outside when we're walking. So it is a thing that happens. The first time it happened, our mind was blown. It was can it be cute to poop? If it can be, it was really cute. And yeah, so and as I've already spoken about earlier, with our trips, we always have rewards for our cats, for Kimchi, when we're able to, have walks with her, for longer walks, for shorter walks. And this is again where it's really, really great to have, to have high value treats that they can look forward to when they're walking. So now, it's been spoken about already, but cats do have cues, and it's really interesting because they oftentimes have a tell either in their face, in their body language, but it's really important to pay attention to your cat's body language. What have you seen at home that's normal? And what can you differentiate and what's not normal? Are they panting? So for example, is it really hot out? Is their tongue out? Like, because dogs normally pant, and that's seen as normal, but when cats pant, it's a little bit more concerning. How are they breathing? Are they shivering? I'm in Montreal, and I know Zafrina had mentioned it's -40 right now in Edmonton, which is cold. That is cold. But are they shivering? Is it really, really cold outside? Like what's going on with your cat's body language? And when you're seeing your cat's body language, it's really important then for you to always be ready to go. And this is part of that exit plan that I spoke about earlier today, where as soon, you've done your evaluation, you've seen the space, but always have that exit plan. And again, that's really where it's super important for us to have that cat backpack always ready to go. And I'll talk a little bit more about Kimchi's tells, but you can easily see with this really helpful slide here, the different types of cat body language out there that you can see. So if they have a straight up tail, that means they're happy. They're happy to be there. And that tail is usually wagging just a little bit. It's kind of like a vibrating tail. If they're a little bit hunkered down and as you can see here, either held between the legs or close to the legs, they're assessing the situation and evaluating their surroundings, or they're being submissive, frightened or aggressive. If they have a wagging tail, so like more not up, but actually more like to their body length, that means they're either annoyed or focused. If they have a really puffy tail, that means they're quite scared. So like, I think, yeah, there's an image here that shows a straight up puffy tail. That means they're quite scared. And because we have that backpack every single time we go out, every time Kimchi is done walking, she'll actually give us a look. She'll turn around to me and say, well, she won't say, but she'll give us that body language look of saying, hey, I'm done walking. Can you put down the backpack? And once we put down the backpack, she'll jump back inside of the backpack. And so cats really do have cues. She also has a tell when she wants to go outside of the backpack for the walk. So if you've seen our Instagram, you'll probably see her like with her entire arms outside of the backpack. That means she's ready to go down. And typically when that happens, we put the backpack down and we have her walk, and it's really cute. So to summarize, when your cat is used to the harness and leash inside of your home, and you yourself are confident, as Rihanna had mentioned, you can start out gradually outside in your home, to your balcony, to your backyard, to small parks that you're familiar with, and to larger parks and other parks that you're more familiar with as well. So like I said, everything for us was very gradual. Everything was very step-by-step, starting from the research all the way to actually getting Kimchi completely used to that outside and, showing that tell of when she wants to go outside. And with that said, for our final tips for harness training, remember, cats are not dogs and all cats are different. I've said that repeatedly throughout this session. They really do have different personalities, and that's what makes cats and dogs, but mostly cats right now because we're here about the cats, so amazing. They'll sniff and stop more, they'll eat the grass, they're on their own schedule. Sometimes you'll have a magic cat that'll respond to calls and walk kind of like a dog does, but remember, they're still not dogs. They are their own cat being. If they're not happy, honestly, it will be even more stressful for you as the human, and it's something to keep in mind. And like I said earlier, not all cats are the same, and it's really important to read their body language. It'll take time and it'll take a lot of patience, but other times, some cats are just not into it. And you know what? That's completely okay. It's okay that your cat isn't into going outside. There are other things that you can do to help with your stimulation and enrichments inside and indoors, like toys, trees, bird feeders outside for them to watch through the windows, etc. It's just really important for you to read your cat's body language and know it's completely okay if they're not going to be an adventure cat or if they're not going to be able to harness walk. But please do be patient. Please do read your cat's body language because they're one of your loved ones and family members. It's really important to keep them happy as well. Provide treats and incentives and positive words of affirmation. I see that there's a lot of comments in the chat. I'm really excited to go through it and see all of the different treats that you folks are talking about. And try to make sure every experience is positive. Have the backpack ready when they're feeling unsafe. So as soon as you see that there's something like a kind of a red alert, have that backpack there. So for example, if I know, and if I'm seeing like really close, not really close by, but far away, that there's a dog that's unleashed, I will actually just put the backpack down and make sure Kimchi's inside the bag right away. And furthermore, by making each experience positive, we also always have a treat after the walk. And it's really fun because Kimchi also knows how to do high fives. Every time we do the treat with the walk, we do a high five with Kimchi. It's really cute. She's the best. I love her. And once they're started getting used to it and they're loving walking with you, they'll actually start meowing at the door for you to go out on their own schedule. Make sure to give your boundaries and not give in to those meows. Otherwise, it gets quite worse. Trust me on that. And finally, I think our biggest tip, like I mentioned earlier, is to please be patient. It takes time. It is definitely not an immediate thing that will happen as soon as you put the harness on. Some cats are like that. Some cats will immediately walk, like I said, but for the most part, it's really important to take your time, be patient, and be flexible because this is your fur baby. This is your family member. This is not a human, but this is a being that you really love. But yeah, so with that said, that is it. I am going to stop sharing. Thank you for listening to me.
Erica. Thank you. Can we give a round of applause to Erica? Thank you so much for taking the time to share.